Welcome back to the deep dive.
Okay, today we're digging into a real piece of tech history, the Casio CA53W. You probably know it as just the calculator watch.
Oh, yeah. Iconic.
Absolutely. But I'm wondering, and this is what we're diving into, was it just, a cool 80s gadget? Or maybe something more? Like, could it actually have been a kind of early signpost for the smart stuff we have now?
Well, that's the really interesting part. It definitely hits that nostalgia button hard for a lot of people. But the CA53W, it isn't just stuck in the past. It made this surprising comeback into pop culture.
Right.
Which really shows its, enduring appeal, almost like it predicted something. It holds some genuinely surprising clues about how personal tech evolved.
Exactly. So our mission today isn't just to say that it became a cult classic or that it maybe foreshadowed smart devices. We want to unpack how. How did this, relatively simple calculator on your wrist actually lay some groundwork for the powerful computers we strap on today?
Well, the most obvious thing, obviously, the feature that gave it the nickname.
Calculate. Yeah, the 8-digit calculator.
Yeah.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Right there on that little LCD screen. But the real leap, I think, wasn't just having the calculator. It was figuring out how to make it usable. That tiny scale.
Yeah, that keyboard.
That black miniaturized keyboard, exactly. I mean, yeah, it had limits, but it kind of forced a new way of thinking about input on personal devices. You can actually see a line from that to, say, early BlackBerry keypads. Or even phone keypads.
And it wasn't just the math part. It was fitting everything into such a small space. That was the genius.
Yeah.
Think about it. That rectangular black resin case. That classic reticulated strap.
Yeah, the grid pattern. Yeah. Super durable.
Totally. And the whole thing was just 43.2 by 34.4 millimeters and only 8.2 millimeters thick.
So slim.
Resin glass, 50 meters water resistance, which was pretty serious for wrist tech back then.
Definitely.
And all running on a basic, reliable Quartz digital movement. Accurate, tough for daily wear. And what did it cost? Like originally, $29.95.
It's incredible value. But let's connect that to the bigger picture. It wasn't just the calculator input. Beyond the arithmetic, remember, it had stopwatches, multiple time zones, alarms.
Ah, right, the other functions.
Think about multiple time zones on your wrist just as global travel and communication were starting to ramp up. That was a step towards kind of managing personal data on the move.
A very early step, yeah.
And the stopwatch, putting precise timing in everyone's hands. We just expect that now from everything digital.
True.
So that mix of functions, it really did lay down a sort of basic blueprint for multi-function personal devices, long before smartphones were even a concept.
It's pretty amazing the foresight packed into what seems like such a simple gadget. It really was more than just a calculator watch. It was becoming a little personal info hub. And that design, plus those growing capabilities. Yeah. You can see how it directly anticipates the stuff we now think is essential. Smart devices.
And that retro nerd appeal you mentioned, that cult status, it's not just nostalgia. It's comeback like when Bryan Cranston wore it as Walter White in Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. That was perfect.
It really was, wasn't it? It just highlighted that understated usefulness, its unique character. It reminded everyone that sometimes the simplest tools stick around the longest, and maybe they're the most visionary.
Brought it full circle, really,
Yeah.
from just a practical gadget to a cultural icon that, subtly pointed the way forward in tech.
Exactly. It sort of validated its whole history.
Okay, so here's something to chew on, a final thought for you listening.
Oh.
We've seen how this device, known mainly for doing basic math on a tiny screen, ended up foreshadowing these super sophisticated computers we wear now. So what seemingly simple or maybe even retro tech that's around you today might be quietly setting the stage for tomorrow's big innovations.
Good question.
Maybe it's not always the flashiest new thing. Maybe it's the humble, overlooked tools that are actually shaping what's next. Something to think about until our next deep dive.